Good morning. Good morning. What a morning. I love every one of you. I appreciate you. Throw one in chat if you're feeling grateful today. If you're not, finding gratitude to bring us back to what life's about: community, friendship, positivity. I love you all. I'm so sorry about the stream yesterday. Something came up. I couldn't get out. I thought I was gonna be able to come back down in 15 minutes. I'm sorry that we had to push it, but we're back live today with every single one of you. I want to see some lab coats in chat. I want to see positivity. I want to see some hearts, and I want everybody, just remember, I did a tweet last night, and this is for all things in life. Essentially what I said was love, prayers, forgiveness, community, and service. That's what I'm about. I appreciate you all. Let's vibe to the music, and let's go ahead and we're going to be getting this going here in just a few minutes. So big love to all of you. We're going to be going. We are 100% going on this stream in just a few minutes. Let's vibe. Roll call, everybody in the room. We're coming together. That's what this stream is about. We gotta come together as a community. I wanna see everybody posting in chat. I wanna see lab coats. I wanna see coins you wanna see. I wanna see a positive thought. I wanna see prayers. I wanna see positivity in here. That's what BitLab Academy is about. We got Randall Dance, Sawtooth Hiker, Alexandra G, Bit Voodoo, FOMO Sapien, Jake Mueller, Randall Dance, Dimple Paul, Rafiq Gafoor. Who else we got in here? Theo Rodriguez, JS, Red Elephant, Cade Pulliam. Who else do we got in here? And again, I just want to echo 100 million times how much I love and appreciate you all, and how much value you all bring to my life. And I hope that I bring value to yours, even if it's just a spark of hope, spark of positivity, or even if it's just data in the morning. I hope I am contributing to you in some way, because all of you contribute to me just by being here. I'm George too. How you doing? B-Rad Crypto, Falco, Crimson's girlfriend, Crimson's Caravan Company, Crimson Caravan Company, I should say. Hodl me harder. All right, well, we're gonna keep flowing here. Total Clinic Solutions. All right, we're gonna be vibing. We're gonna get going here in just a few minutes. Karen Swigart Harris, what's up, my friend? Randall Dance says HBAR. Total Clinical Solutions says coffee, Alexandra G, and smiles. Thank all of you. Randy Moore, what's up? Travis Harris. Conk Beach. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the family, because that's what we are here. We are a family. We are about positivity. We're about love. We're about education. We're about finding those data sets, stacking our probabilities, and figuring out a way not only to dominate the charts, but remember that a lot of these principles that we're doing in trading apply to our lives too. Is there fear? Is there greed? Is there FOMO? What is our action plan to engage with that in the charts? Because those same things will also be very analogous to how we live our lives. So everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, get involved here. Throw one in chat if you're feeling grateful this morning. Of course, I'm not going to address it full on because it's not my place, but I just want to say, I shared my tweet about the world, about life, about everything going on. It's this right here: love, prayers, forgiveness, community, and service. That's what I'm about. That's what BitLab's about. That's what every one of you are about here in the channel. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I can say compassionately and empathetically, there is a lot going on right now. And I'm not trying to not engage with it because it doesn't affect me. I'm not engaging with it because it's not my place to. It's not my battle. I have compassion for all sides of the story. And my ultimate message would be love, kindness, and patience. And at the end of the day, talking on YouTube is not providing evidence. At the end of the day, there are things that are done and that are navigated in a professional sense that will carry more water than rhetoric. I'll just put it that way. And if there's pauses in what people are talking about, or it feels like there's a lack of evidence, tends to mean that there's legal proceedings going on. And it is of the advice of counsel that because this evidence is here, you don't just throw all your cards on the table. But similarly, you do not do things, the lawyers do not push things in a certain direction unless there is evidence based evidence that supports the direction that it's going. So know that. So if things seem questionable, because you don't have all the evidence. So there's a lot of things being spun up, and our team, remember, we as a team, BitLab Academy, we are independent of all this, but I'm getting hate, DZ's getting hate, TJ getting absolute hate. And in reality, you watch that altcoin daily video that went out yesterday, 120 minutes, feels long-winded. And it's because if you don't understand the context of the timeline of everything that was going on, it's hard to understand what's really what's really taking place. And so if you really listen to that timeline and realize that TJ had one option, I had two options. One, take money, leave. Everybody said, why didn't he do that? Because if he did that, he's already implicated because he became aware of all this stuff in the last couple of weeks leading up to the stuff. And he talking to the lawyers. They're like, well, yeah, you could leave and take a paycheck. But then every employee is basically then facing the exposure of the things that Ben was doing. And similarly, TJ, if you know this, then you're implicated legally in taking on those things. And some of those things you all are not even fully aware of yet, but you can find it if you search out there. I'm not going to spread all that stuff. I'm here for love. I'm here for community. I'm here for crypto. I am not part of a reality show, and that's all I'm going to say on that. I love you all. I appreciate you all. TJ, of course, you'll see it if you watch that full-length video. The pauses he had where it had to do with what can I say legally without, he's not trying to slander anybody. He's responding to the complete overwhelming spewing of hate and dragging everybody down that is out there. He had one option in terms of if you choose what's right and what's wrong. And his option was to stay and take it on the chin, because you're not going to be able, you're not initially going to be, let all this evidence out. Everybody's going to think this happened. But in reality, because you're aware of this, you have a responsibility either to yourself, because you're selfish, leave and still be facing exposure and everybody else likely being taken down with it, or because you're aware of this and you're the only one that has the ability to do something about it because of the partnership, step up to the plate and do what needs to be done to protect all the employees. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I love you all. I'm not going to speak on this again. There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and I understand, and I'm not mad at any one of you. I'm not asking anybody to take sides. Only thing I'm asking is don't take sides. Let evidence speak for itself. Let actions speak for themselves. Let the process and the way things are characterized and how people are going about it, let the character be the thing. And I welcome all of you, regardless of what side of the fence you're on. Again, I'm asking you, don't take sides. Don't take TJ's side. Don't take Ben's side. Say, I'm on the side, BitLab especially, I'm on the side of crypto and community. And so let's do that here at this channel. I had to address it a little bit because there's so much going on. There's a lot of confusion. And I understand if anybody's confused, or maybe you don't think you're confused, but there's a lot of information coming and you're like, I get it. I don't hate you for it. I welcome you with open arms, baby. That's what this is about. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I wish the best for everybody involved. I mean that, and that's all I'm going to say. I said that 3 times now, but that is all I'm going to say. Now, let's go ahead and get into the show. Again, echoing this again before we continue going on. Right here, love, prayers, forgiveness, community, and service. That's what we're about. So if you haven't yet, head over to my Twitter page. Make sure you give me a follow, and you're following the correct Kelly Kellam. There's only one Kelly Kellam. Got the blue check and the hit logo right here. Make sure you're following the correct one. There's a lot of scammers out there. Make sure you're following BitLab Academy here at Academy BitLab. And make sure if you're watching anywhere else that you tune in right here to youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Now, how's everybody feeling today? Can we move forward? Can we talk crypto? Can we do what this channel, what this community is about? Are you all okay with us doing what our mission statement is, which is coming together as a community and talking about what the hell is going on in these charts so that we can be best prepared? Because that's what this is about. That's what our focus is. So let's get back into it. If you guys if I see the ones flying right now, then I'll get into crypto. I'm waiting until I see those ones because there's been a lot of stuff going on in the markets. We got to talk about it. There's charts that signal very, very clearly about what we should be looking at, what we should be paying attention to. So we're going to dive into it. All right, I'm seeing the ones. Quarter crawler. How's everybody doing? Man, I'm ready. Boom. First things first, we got to talk about. Look at this chart right. Where's it at? Look at this chart right here. Why are we watching the Dow Jones when we're talking about Bitcoin? I'm going to tell you. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Look at the S&P 500 index. New low. Lower high. Now we're starting to form. We've already, regardless of where we bounce, we've already formed a lower low. Look at the total 3. Total 3 is interesting. Looks like we're building very strong base here. If we come back over to the daily time frame, zoom in here, it looks like we're sort of constricting into a range here. Right? And why is this important? Because there's a couple things we're looking at right now. Remember, the first thing I showed you was the Dow Jones index. Second thing I showed you was S&P 500. Third thing I showed you is crypto. Is there an importance of the order of operations that I just went? Right now, when things are feeling indeterminable, are they really, or are we ignoring the data that is presented to us? The thumbnail for this stream, and I was going to do something similar yesterday, but because we didn't have a stream, it is ultimately even more relevant today. That's why I basically updated the thumbnail with a little bit different wording, but same image, because the bears feel like they're waking up from a little bit of, they've had some strength, but it's like they've kind of rested a little bit. It's starting to feel like there could be some strength coming into the bears. But we have to also acknowledge where we're at in the market cycle for Bitcoin doesn't ultimately say because there's bearish signals, we have to go down. So we need to be aware of that. And we need to be okay with being very adaptable right now. Right now is all about adaptability. We need to pay attention to it. We need to pay attention to what our bias may be about, yes, we want the market to go up. Halving's around the corner. But does that mean you go on a 30x long trade every time you get a dip? Not right now. Right now is the liquidity grab zone of the market. There's not certainty. So there's hope that's amplified through derivatives and leverage and futures. But then there's also fear that's amplified by derivatives, hope, and futures. Okay? So we need to be patient. So let's go through some of the topics I wanted to cover today, and then we're going to be diving into this. You guys don't understand. The last month, I have been running like a chicken with the head cut off and no legs. So basically, I've just been rolling around trying to, because there's so much stuff that we've been needing to do, and a lot of stuff in the background for BitLab Academy, and more content that all of us are having to take on, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No excuses. But the point is here, we got to pay attention to what's going on in the market. I don't care if my news stories are out of order. They may be right now. I just didn't, there was other things I had to do this morning. So let's go through this. First things first. This is a bullish story. Bullish. Bernstein Research says crypto asset management industry to hit $650 billion in 5 years from $50 billion. This is a 10x, more than a 10x. So why do we're looking at some bearishness coming in terms of the market and the structures and the risk narrative. So why am I starting with the bullish story? Because as I said, we are in that part of the market that we're coming up to a halving where the ultimate, we have to acknowledge this. Historically, halving, post-halving has been parabolic uptrend. But every fractal does not play out. We had Gary Cardano on here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he said specifically, he goes, he's a little worried that everyone in the space, I mean, it's not everyone, but it's probably higher than 98%, are expecting once the halving hits that we are going to see very strong bullish momentum kicking off and really pushing to the upside. Everybody wants that to happen and follow through to a new all-time high. Doesn't have to happen. Especially, and consider this, Jesse Olsen, the last guest we had, and unfortunately we had an issue with the long form version of that interview. I think I may do another one with him this week. I'm going to talk to him because he shared so many good charts and all. It's so much alpha that wasn't able to be shared. But Jesse Olsen basically said something that a lot of people are not acknowledging. They're saying, "Oh, we're so happy, we're so excited." There's something that a lot of people are not acknowledging. The ETFs are on the horizon. BlackRock, Invesco, Bitwise, ARK Invest, 21 shares. Institutions feeling like it's very obvious that they're on the sidelines ready to just pour capital in. And while that might be true, is it the best thing for Bitcoin as an asset? Is it the best thing for this idea that a major bull run's coming post-halving April-ish 2024? If you look at gold and what gold did post-ETF, yes, price went up, but then you also have a huge number of institutional players in. So what happens now with the best asset in the history of the world has proven scarcity. And I mean, we're so early in the adoption curve. How many new people are going to be coming into this space as the markets grow, as adoption grows, as awareness grows? So as institutions come in and we have pension funds, we have different investment treasuries, institutional treasuries, maybe even sovereign wealth funds. When we have this capital come in, do they want the boom and bust cycle? Is that the best thing for them? Do they have an astronomically large amount of capital that could also suppress or boost the market at a moment's notice? See, all these things tie together. So while I think it is incredible if the Bitcoin spot ETFs are approved, whether it's October 16th, when the next deadline of acknowledgements, delay or approval, or just flat out denial, it's right around the corner. Is it good that ETFs come in? Yes, it will boost the capital flow in the digital asset ecosystem, specifically in Bitcoin. And then that capital, as profits are taken on the way up, will flow into altcoins. It's going to be wonderful. But does it mean everybody's looking like we're going to get this explosive bull rally after the halving. And while I still think it's very possible. I think there's a high likelihood that we're going to have a stronger bull market post halving this time than we did in the previous cycle for a number of reasons. But I have to acknowledge that it's not a given. It doesn't have to happen. And if you trade and if you invest in absolutes, then you're not going to be doing it long. You can only invest and trade consistently over time if you are 100% absolute on knowing that your strategy or the trade setups that you're taking aren't always going to work out. That's why you need risk management. That's why we're going through these stories. So coming back to this article, 650 billion in 5 years from 50. This is about crypto asset management. This is who's managing people's crypto assets. Think about it. This is as the adoption rate really starts to take off and we get new people coming in. We have wealthy people, ultra high net worth people, institutions, mom and pop, your neighbors who have money managers that are basically managing their crypto. This is talking about that. This is in the eventuality when the spot ETFs get approved. And we have small family financial offices actually recommending this as a necessary allocation for people's portfolios. This is bullish, but this is bullish on a longer time horizon. Every one of you watching right now, I'm sure, even if you have a long-term portfolio, is also interested in what the hell can I do right now to make sure I'm the best set up for this next bull run. So while this is long-term bullish, this doesn't say go and drop along. This is saying the structural components, the structural fundamentals of Bitcoin are changing. And from such changes, there's high likelihood of this growth in this industry that is part of crypto. So this is a longer-term fundamental idea that strengthens the case of long-term outlook on Bitcoin. So furthermore, if we do see bears take control, this is one of those things that tells you, okay, bears are in control right now on a 4-hour chart or on even a weekly chart for the next midterm time frame, sometime between now and December. We may get a bullish impulse between now and then. But even with any bearish impulse, we see the fundamentals and the data out there and the analysts, I don't mean crypto price action analysts, the analysts that are doing actual research on trends and on asset niches and on the potential growth of certain sectors. They're saying there's going to be major growth coming in this space. So let's go to the next story here. This is important. This actually was yesterday. We didn't get to cover it, but we got to talk about it. Crypto traders brace for nearly 5 billion Bitcoin and Ether options expiry Friday. Now, why does this matter? Because it's not a daily expiry. It's not a weekly expiry. It's not a monthly expiry, but it is all of those in addition to being a quarterly expiry. So what does this mean? $5 billion of options traders, which tended there's retail involved, but there's a little bit more adept and in tune with markets and have, there's a heightened skill set if you're trading options. So it's like the upper tier of retail, but then also institutions and big money, smart money. So it's got a broader array, and there's a lot of big money and smart money in options. And so what this is saying is there's the max pain level for Bitcoin and Ethereum are 26,500 and 1,650 for Bitcoin and Ether, meaning that's going to be the level that big money can push it to clear the most liquidity, AKA liquidity grab. So this is an area of interest that we want to look at. So when we are looking at Bitcoin and we wonder why it's sitting flat this week, even though there's other news stories coming on, even though there's big things happening this week, it's because there's nearly $5 billion in pressure and incentive to keep price action in a certain range, barring some other larger fundamental shift or bearish pressure on the markets that will basically override this sort of static pressure that we're having until Friday's options expiry. So just note that. Another thing, consumers are heading for trouble. Only 80 billion left in excess savings that's keeping households afloat. Think about that. We have, what, 375 million people that live in America? And there's only $80 billion left in excess savings? Look at this. How the hell? Everybody wants the economy to continue doing well because we've seen some pretty remarkable performance from the stock market in the face of all this questionability about, geopolitical, geoeconomic, inflation. The market is performed like almost against the trend of what happens when those kind of pressures are on it. Is it going to keep going? We trade, we invest with the idea of let's see what's coming. When you're driving a car, you don't look 2 feet in front of the car. No, you look way up the road so that you can account for what those hurdles or objects or obstacles are going to be so you don't wreck your car. Investments and trading is very similar to that. We need to look ahead. This right here is suggesting that the pressures that will keep the bull market going, aka capital flowing into markets, is starting to look like it's drying up. So what drives a risk narrative on? Meaning people want to buy risky assets, meaning people want to take speculative plays. Capital that's accessible and liquid in their accounts so that they can make those investments and risk it. If people are not spending money because they're out, then institutions and businesses and corporations and services get fewer people buying their products and services. And if they're making less money from selling products and services, then their profitability goes down and the trends start showing that. So then forward-looking investors stop allocating funds to those investments and they also start shorting those investments, driving the market further down. So we have to pay attention to capital flow in traditional markets for the time being. At some point, Bitcoin, I do think will break the correlation with the traditional assets. But as it stands right now, it's still heavily tied in with all this, in addition to the fact that most of the institutions and smart money aren't in yet. So do they want it to just run away and go up? No, they have the ability and the pressures to limit price action just running away. So we need to pay attention to all this. Let's go ahead to this next story right here. So we talked about the halving. Halving cycle is coming up. I mean, we're in the halving cycle. But if you see, this is a genesis of Bitcoin right here. This is the time of Bitcoin. And you could basically see how it's a different way to look at basically a linear chart. What we're seeing is as the price goes up, this spirals further out because the price is higher. So as you can see, we can also see major points. This dark blue, all these dots, this is all-time highs. Of course, we got a lot early on because the price had never been to those levels. But the most interesting thing is if we come to the first halving, this is the first halving. We see this right here, bear market bottom, and then halving right here. We had our all-time highs again, a little bit of a sell-off. Prices going up. We're getting all-time highs. And then it kind of sells off and it's traveling. We get a bottom. Look at these next 3 cycles. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Same spot on the timeline, relatively, within a regional, weeks or months sort of relationship. So as this spirals back out, halving, and then we start getting all-time highs, 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 and then come down, we get the bottom. This bottom right here is the $3,700 bottom after the 19K top in 2017 into 2018. Then we come around, price action pushing up. We get the halving, and we get all-time highs. All-time highs here. You see this? All-time highs. And then this is the ultimate all-time high because this was a previous $68,000, $69,000 top. And then price comes, we bottom. Look at this, almost in the same exact spot in the timeline. And here we are here. So what we're looking for is to make it to here. And between roughly where we're at now and around the halving to anywhere here, on the basically block cycle, because remember, the halving doesn't work on a 4-year cycle. Everybody says 4-year cycle. The halving works on a Bitcoin block cycle. Every 210,000 blocks is when you get the halving. That's why you see the blocks here. You see this marked out? It just so happens, because Bitcoin is programmed to do blocks at roughly, on average, every 10 minutes, you can calculate roughly where the halving is going to be. And if we calculate it, it's going to be roughly about the middle of April. Now, of course, depending on the network congestion and other issues that may, new adoption coming in, maybe block time slow down and it gets pushed out to May, or maybe things move a little bit faster and it's March, but somewhere between March and May, so let's just say middle of April, is the most likely spot the halving is going to be. And as you can see, halving, all-time highs happen after. They never happen before this halving. So anybody that's telling you that Bitcoin is going to be hitting a new all-time high before the halving is not done any research as to price action within Bitcoin and the cycles. Now, could it happen? Yes. But I do think that if we got an all-time high before the halving, we would have a probably pretty, it would wreck people from the correction that would come around all this, because that would be the perfect opportunity for a liquidity grab. I would be very hesitant for price action pushing up anywhere near 50,000. And then once it gets to 65,000, there's going to be a lot of people taking profit especially if it is before the halving. So note that, understand the scenario and the environment that you're in so that you don't have your fear and FOMO of missing out. Oh my God, it's going up, I better get in. If you miss the setup, then you miss the setup. If you have a DCA strategy, then all this is irrelevant. You're buying every Monday, or you're buying once a month on Monday, or whatever you are doing, it's your strategy. If you have a DCA strategy from now until, let's say now until July or something like that, or maybe it's all the time, then know that, tune in, learn stuff, but don't get triggered by small movements in the chart. Zoom out. I just wanted to point this out to you. There's something else here I wanted to show you. Right here. This chart right here. Ultimate signal about if we are fully in a new bullish initiative. And I don't mean a push up from 26,000 to 27,000. It's meaningless to me. In fact, it is to me that if it pushes between this and, anywhere right around 28,000, I am designating it a bull trap until we break above these zones. Because look at the convergence of all three of these lines. What are these lines, you ask? Well, let's go up here and look at the top. We have Bitcoin, which is a pink price action. We have this darker line, which is this one right here. This is a 200-day simple moving average. Then we have this black line, which is right here. This is the 21-week simple moving average. And then we have this green line, which is a short-term holder cost basis. And what have we said about the short-term holder cost basis on Bitcoin? It's an excellent indication of what type of trend you're in, because if the short-term holders are basically, if the price is holding, and even if it comes down and tests, but if it's holding above the short-term holder cost basis, AKA the average price of every coin that's in circulation that has moved within the last 155 days. So coins that have been held short term. If price is holding above that, it's proving to be a bull market. The second you lose a short-term holder cost basis, in this case, it is this green line right here. Look at this. Maybe you don't get out on that move, but okay, sell off is very scary. Price will come back and test it. Is it truly a bear market? Tested right here. So look at that. You would have basically lost, so that level right there, where's the green line? 46,255. So there's about, where's the short term? There we go. 53. So about an $8,000 difference, right? And that's huge if you're just swing trading on the 15-minute chart. But if you're doing macro plays and you're just waiting for the right signal to get in or get out, you can utilize something like this, short-term holder cost basis. Okay, we lost it. There's clearly a shift of trend here. I'm going to sell on the retest. Boom. Then look at that. You took yourself from 46,000 all the way down to 15,000. Shout out Eric Wallen said, Kelly, have you considered the Palau ID to get US customers past KYC. I have. Everybody, you are more than free to go and research that. I'm not going to talk about it. You are more than free to research that because it is absolutely a wonderful thing. And I will say on that note, where is my, let me come off my face real quick. We are entering a trading competition on a BitGet. And I don't know. Let me actually look in this. Let me see, make sure let me see if the money, I had to move some money into that account. We are doing the KCGI trading competition. I'm setting up a team. Make sure that, let me go ahead and futures. I'm going to transfer this. Let me just set this up real quick. I'll get you guys the team almost immediately. It's all. Here we go. Confirm to in futures. We're going to do that. And a lot of the US people, I apologize, you may not be able to do it. Maybe if you're a citizen of Palau, you know, or whatever it is, especially all you UK people or anybody that's watching anywhere else in the world, we're doing this competition. We're going to be competing with a couple other people in-house, a couple other teams, but it's going to be very exciting. I'm also going to share a lot more information on it this afternoon. You can look down into, where's my page? You can look down into, give me one second. Right below the pay, right here, you can sign up. You need to be signed up through our affiliate link on BitGet. It's right here. And I'll be posting the team link to join this afternoon. The name of the team is BitLab Fam. BitGet KCGI. Join us on BitGet. Sign up through this link, and I will be posting more information about this later. But yeah, we're going to be trading. We're going to be trading a lot more on this channel. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with trading because we've been talking analysis for far too long, and I've been doing my own private trades. I'm like, you know what? We need to trade with these folks, get people engaged with these charts, even if it's $10, so people can go through the process of learning risk management and getting to the point where you're not losing, even if this is what it's all about, succeeding in this market. So again, by the way, I just want to say I love you all. Coming back over, let's continue what we're talking about here. We talked about this. We talked about this. What was the next thing? I've got the spiral chart. Glassnode. Look at how low we are on the MVRV Z-score. So the longer term outlook for Bitcoin is very positive. In the short term, I do think that we are still going to have a washout to the downside. We're looking at right here, coming back over to this, the total 3. This is not looking, this is not looking, there's not an ultra bullish shut up in here yet at all. In fact, yeah, it's consolidating in a zone here, and we are holding above this 50 exponential moving average, but we're consolidating in this zone. But remember, when we zoom out of the market we're in and we see the risk matrix essentially out there, Dow Jones, what is this? Head and shoulders. Remember, if you don't know what head and shoulders is, remember, if you get lost on any of the stuff we're talking about, you want to go deeper, head over to bitlabacademy.com. Come over here. You can click on home, but come here to courses. Come down to view all, and you can see a lot of the stuff that we have. We break this down, candle patterns, candles. Every individual candle tells you a story about where the narrative is either increasing in that direction, or if there's momentum starting to, you get a foresight just by understanding reading candle patterns, on-chain data analysis, indicators, trading strategies. And remember, for I think until the end of this month, only a couple more days, if you sign up, BitLab Pro, almost 30% off because it's all bundled together, but you can also, that has the indicators, all access to courses, and the premium Discord, and you can still use this Give Me 30 for an additional 30% off your first month. And I will say, if anybody's been on the fence about it, get on this now, get involved, join our community, join in our excellent premium Discord, and we're gonna be doing a lot more trading stuff, and you can basically be joining us along that, and we're going to be having some special benefits for people that are signed up through our member links for our different exchange affiliates. You're going to get special access to certain things and some trading, webinar stuff, with groups, and it's going to be some really good stuff. So, what was I saying? Okay, we got to come over here. Boom. Once the price action, I do think we're going to test lower here. Once the price action comes up, takes out that 28,000 with conviction. By conviction, I mean it breaks above it, and at some point comes back and tests this zone right here at that $28,000 level, and then continues higher. That's when I start to get excited. Then I looked at 31,800. When we were able to take that, that's when I get really excited, because that means we have broken this major wall that was the barrier of entry to, the next level of gains. So we got to pay attention to this. So let's go ahead and dive in to the charts and talk about what is going on. We're going to come over here. I changed all of this. Let's go to, let's do it right here. Bitcoin. All right, this is wait, was it here or was it here? Where did all those things I drew yesterday go? They all disappeared. There they are. All right, so these are the levels that I'm watching right now. Now, of course, we can do another one here. Do this right here at this level right here. The top side of, what was it? The short-term holder cost basis and all this. So it must be right in this zone. Hold on one second. I gotta message my team. Drew. They have my charts open upstairs, so it's hold on one second. But all right. Hey, Drew. You hear me? Will you have them log me out of the trading view upstairs on the computer? It keeps kicking me off my charts. Okay, thank you. Teamwork, everybody. Teamwork. All right. That's what we do here. Teamwork. Where are we at? Okay, boom. All right. So these are the levels that I'm watching. We have both upside and downside, because what do we do? What do we do when we're looking at this market? We have to plan for both eventualities. And if price just starts pushing up, do I want to be caught in a trap? Do I want to be caught in the price action going up and my FOMO gets triggered and I buy only for it to reverse back down? Now, if you are a little bit more patient and this does push up and come back and retest this zone and start moving up, maybe you get a little bit more aggressive. But as it stands, I'm not doing anything on a bullish buy basis for trading. If I'm trading on a 1 hour, a daily or below, I am not buying along in this environment until we break out above this zone and continue higher. I'm not trading this small chop right in here because there's liquidity washouts that are happening in both directions. Now, to the downside, I've been marking this out for all the way since the beginning of August, which, remember, is about right here, right in this zone. I said, I think it's going lower, and everybody said, you're such a bear. I said, I'm not a bull or a bear. I'm an analyst that's looking at the chart, and through my analysis and the data sets I'm looking at and the indicators, I'm seeing that the likelihood of this pushing up is far diminished from the price action breaking down. The easiest part of that telegraph is that the data is telegraphing to me is looking right here, option T. Just take a measurement of that. We can go from the bottom to the top of this move. Let's measure this. Let's see how different this is. Woo! Look how much smaller this move. This was less than half the move before. AKA the bulls were tired, baby. Bulls were tired. So, if that's the case, and we saw this and it broke down, and we're testing this low here. My line in the sand here for really seeing further downside is this level, this level right about right just below $25,000. So 24,830 If we take this, and as it stands right now, we do have a little bit of a zone here between 24,830 and 25,150. I think if we do come down to the zone, we have tested liquidity both to the upside, to the downside, back to the upside with the lower high saying the bulls are not ready yet. If this does pull down to this zone and consolidate here, great. I'm not saying because it comes down here, it has to go down. I'm saying if it comes down here and loses this low here, this order block here, this rising level of support here, where from? All the way back here, starting in November 2022 to December 2023, December 2022 into January 2023, long projected trend line. And we have all this convergence of areas right here. This line, this order block, and this low. If we do pull back down here, and remember, if we take out this low on this zone, that means we're furthering the bearish narrative here. The only line in the sand left is this previous low. If we take this out, I think there's going to be a pretty large liquidation event and a pretty quick move down, likely into this zone that I marked out a couple weeks ago, or at least last week at some point, maybe longer. But I did this box here, I think of three or more weeks ago. I drew this line here just to show you we've got a lot of interest here with all this rejection, support, rejection. So this zone is really what I'm eyeing for the most bullish case of a breakdown if the breakdown occurs. Price action dipping in at least on a weekly basis with the wick into this zone, coming back up questionably. Remember, if the price action breaks down, if we do come up and test this zone right here, look at this. We have an order block. We have this long sort of level of now flipping to potential resistance. But not only that, what do we have right here? The previous lows. So this is going to be a major hurdle. If the price action does get, pushed up into the zone and forms a large bull trap, a lot of people are going to be eaten alive in this move. Because if this gets rejected, then this is likely coming down in somewhere. I wouldn't go that far. Then this is likely coming down somewhere in the $21,30 to $22,000 range. Is it the end of the world? No. For those that are prepared, it is ultimately the best opportunity you could have going into the next bull market. So in a way, I don't want to say let's hope for it. Let's hope and strategize that we can be prepared if we get that opportunity. There are no goods and bads in price action in this market. Nothing is upsetting unless you are out of position. So don't be out of position. And if you are, risk manage yourself with stop losses and trailing stop losses and stop limit stop losses, all those different tools. And we talk about that here in BitLab Academy. So head your little butt over to BitLab Academy, to join the Academy, get involved, and use that code for any of the products for 30% off, where you're getting the indicators with the all access or just the all access. You can use Give Me 30. All right. So that's Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing. Let's go down to Ethereum. I know that Ethereum, sorry, not Ethereum. I know that Vitalik just moved some coins to Coinbase. I think it was like 400 or 600 coins. Everybody wants to be scared about it. Hey man, this dude has, how many Ethereum Vitalik has? 400. He could, it's not a signal every time somebody of some wealth and prominence moves, millions of dollars worth. If it's billions of dollars worth, yeah, because what their expenditures are and what they're doing and what they're trying to provide liquid capital for is beyond our understanding of what's going on. Now, if he's doing 400 on a weekly basis, I'd be a little concerned. But we want to look to the chart. We want to look to the narrative the chart's telling us, because we cannot control things outside of the chart. The chart gives us evidence as to where the probabilities are lying in the data, and then we can make our decision. So here, looking at the daily, Ethereum breaking down, we have the lower high. So this is different than Bitcoin. We have a lower high, so this is not performing as good as Bitcoin. In fact, if we come right here, I've not even looked at the chart. If we look at the ETH BTC chart, yeah. So look at that. See how far this is performing. This is how ETH is performing against Bitcoin. If this is going down, this means Bitcoin is performing better. This is performing worse than Bitcoin. That's what this chart is showing you. Because remember, you don't have to trade BTC USD or Cardano USD. You could trade specifically only against Bitcoin because remember, when you are in this digital asset ecosystem, if you don't want to fail investing and trading Bitcoin and altcoins, you have to understand that Bitcoin is the least risky asset in the digital crypto ecosystem. Whether you think it's better or worse, it's just a fact. So if you are trading and you're trying to expand how much capital that you have in your portfolio, then you should regularly be checking in with what the Bitcoin pairings are. Because what's the point of taking a riskier asset if it's not even currently performing as good as Bitcoin? There are times when altcoins absolutely overwhelmingly overshadow how well Bitcoin is performing in a daily, a weekly, or maybe even a monthly term, but it's very short-lived, and those moments are explosive, and those moments can change your life. The problem is most people chase those moments all their life and end up with nothing, and I don't want that to happen to you. I'm not saying don't trade altcoins. I'm not saying don't find those gems. In fact, what I'm really saying is wait for the moment that utilize your time to look at what the pairings against Bitcoin are, how Bitcoin's performing against the altcoin market, and figure out where the smartest place is to put your capital now. So when those moments arise, you can take advantage of it with as much capital as possible. So look at your altcoin charts with Cardano USD and Phantom USD and AVAX USD. I like all those projects. But if I'm looking at the pairing, each one of those or any altcoins pairing against Bitcoin, and that chart shows a decline in price, lower highs, lower lows, and how it is trading and performing in markets compared to Bitcoin. If it's on a decline, then that means Bitcoin is the asset to be in right now. And then wait for that trading setup, just like you would on a fiat pairing. When you're seeing things compared to the dollar, you wait for the trade setup before you break out in confirmation. Great. If you're not doing it on Bitcoin also, then you're not truly taking advantage of how you can make the most of your capital in the space. Just know that. Now, coming back over to this chart, Ethereum not performing well. Yes, we're getting a little relief rally. So do we just jump in? Well, as it stands, this is pushing up. Okay, it's on the daily. Let's get down to the 2-hour. So, okay, price action coming up. We got a little bit of money flow, but this is starting to flip bearish. This is coming in where? Right to an order block, which also is perfectly in line with where this low was and all of these lows above. So we've got this zone right here, option J, and then we got this zone right here, option J. And wouldn't you know that? It just so happens that within that zone, we also have the order block. And what's happening? Price action pushes up, finds resistance. Look at that. That bounced right at the exact line. Even if we didn't have this line drawn, because we don't like doing TA, we just want something simple like the BitLab trading stack, which here outlines where this order block is. Area of interest comes in, finds resistance, comes down. Currently, yes, we're finding support still. Above this dynamic support zone, above the weekly VWAP, and above this order block that's below us. But as it stands right now, this is not looking like it's convincingly trying to move higher. This is looking like it's pushing up. They're starting to get a little bit of exhaustion. So I would be looking for this more likely than not to either consolidate here or having a small pullback. And on that small pullback, that will be the bellwether. Will it go further down? Will this area hold? Primarily the weekly VWAP, which if you look at this weekly VWAP right here, one of my favorite signals to trade with, part of the BitLab intelligence, which is part of the BitLab trading stack, is sitting right on top of this order block below us. So if this price comes down and loses this level, then I do think that this is essentially going to end up looking like this. If we get our brush tool, push down, up, and a continuation to the downside. That's what we need to be prepared for. It doesn't have to happen, but that's currently what is likely in the cards. The other option is for this to come down and find support either at this level, this previous low, or come down, form a slightly higher low, and push up, give us that reversal W pattern. Right now, we don't have anything convincing for the bulls. All that is a relief rally. Don't get trapped in relief rallies, because all relief rallies are traps to take your liquidity for the smart money to drop the price lower. That's why you buy in that's why you buy in uptrends and take profits on the small reversals, and then you rebuy on the dips. Everybody thinks buy the dip all the time. No, you buy the dip on every part of the market, you're going to be left with nothing. You buy the dip on bull trends And then if you're talking about a macro dip where you go from 64 to 15, yeah, buy that dip. But you don't buy every time. Look, here's a dip. Should you have bought that? Maybe. And then we have a lower high. So then we have a dip again. Do we buy that? We have a lower high. No, what you do in this type of cycle, this type of trend, you have an established downtrend. Once you get the lower low, which is established right here compared to here, we have a lower low followed by a lower high. This is saying the bulls and the bears narrative has changed. This is likely going down. Then once you break this level right here, which is a previous low, I drew that all messed up, but once you break that low, which is this previous low right here, God dang it, come here. Break that low, that's your entry. Conservative entry. Aggressive entry, as this starts rolling over, you buy somewhere right here in terms of a short. Or if you're not a short trader, if you had a long from somewhere, you know, somewhere, anywhere, like anywhere, say you bought here and then you want this to go up, this is a great buy. You feel very proud of it. You saw in the BitLab trading stack, you have 6 bullish divergences here. You have the triangle here on the BitLab trend fuel down here. You see this arcing over. You see the stochastics right here. This would have been the signal right here. We had the 6 bullish divergences, leading signal. We have our supporting signal also right here with the triangle showing that this is starting to roll over. So this was actually the leading one, but you know, leading, support, and then confirmation. Also, we have the stochastics right here starting to roll over. So anywhere in here would have been an excellent buy. In fact, you could have traded this boom to here, or maybe you just had a lot of hope and you bought this and you want this to go up and it's going and it's starting to roll over. Well, once you got the lower low from this zone and then followed by lower high, then that's where you take that exit of the long. If you were just holding this and it wasn't going anywhere, okay, now this is a confirmation this is likely going down. This would have been the aggressive entry. This would have been the more conservative entry because you're waiting to break this low again. And then what happens? Look at that. Boo, 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 boo. It's just trickling down. So in downtrends, you look for opportunities to exit longs or take shorts. So that's what we're seeing. Now let's go ahead. We got a couple. We still got to, oh, my bad. Let's go ahead and look at some more level. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at some more. I don't think we looked at Cardano. I feel like we haven't been on here all week. It's only Tuesday. Man, it has been a long week, guys. Whew. Because this week started, feels like a month ago. I got to check out of the charts for a second. Sometimes you just got to take a deep breath. Remember, I haven't done my stretches. And I haven't told you guys how much, guys and gals, how much I appreciate you all. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Be here with me, baby. All right. Just had to take a little step out of the charts for a moment. All right, we got a couple interesting things here on Cardano. This is a 2-hour chart. Let's get to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. All right, 4-hour chart. We have this large descending wedge, and then another descending wedges within descending wedges. But then here, it looks like we're trying to form a base. We had a low. We have a higher low here. We have a similar thing coming down here on the, let me move this. A similar thing happening down here on the momentum waves, where this is a low and a higher low on the these white momentum waves. So this is looking like it's trying to hold this zone. If we lose basically 24 cents, it's going to be a little bit above, but let's be a little bit more cautious here. Right about 24 cents, which is 24.1 would actually be the case. Then this is saying that we're likely coming down to test down here into not only this giant order block that we have from over here, but also the low, this I almost said trend signal line, this descending level of support. Now, the scary thing about this is, if you're not prepared, is if we lose this, then essentially we have this larger, much larger trend line down here that we could be coming all the way down here into the 21s, potentially down, even losing that. So we need to be paying attention to stuff. As it sits right now, this is looking a little bit more bullish in that this is trying to sort of round out. So if we can start to consolidate sideways, that would be the best opportunity, because that would give us all opportunities to accumulate, especially with midterm to longer term time horizons. So that's what I'm seeing in Cardano right now. Are we going to get some sort of W pattern here, especially if we look at the daily? See how this is trying to set up a bit of a W pattern? If we cannot even test this region up here at 25, then this is likely going to, you start getting weakening of the bulls. What does GRT look like? We haven't looked at GRT in a minute. GRT, okay, rolling over, legged. It's not looking ultimately bullish. Breakdown, testing these highs. We have a wick that just barely kind of eclipsed it, but testing these highs, rolling over, and this is, if we cannot hold this zone where we're at right now, for instance, I would say 831. If we lose 831, I think that we are coming down into the sevens. This zone right here, 720 for GRT if we lose that. As it stands right now, I do think things are kind of sitting, let's see what happens throughout the rest of this week. Let's see what happens throughout the rest of this week. We still have some, I think Gary Gensler is talking from the House Senate Judiciary Finance Committee. I can't remember. There's too many words in it, but it's going to be primarily about crypto. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says there. We got the PCE data, which is a key inflation metric, personal consumption expenditure. So rather than, it's going to be, we got some data coming out as well as this options expiry that is happening on Friday. What else should we look at? Let's look at XRP. Holding this zone. This is starting to look like a head and shoulders. If this were the case, that would be super scary. And I don't think it would break down like this, because you'll see this is taking us down to 27, but that's how you would measure it. I think if we do break down, I think the more likely scenario is if we break down that we'll test somewhere here in the 41 to 44 cents. And if we lose that, then coming down into this zone, this 37 cents. But this is not looking like it's setting up bullish structure as it stands. Now, what we can say is we can also extend this right here. So we got a little bit of a deviation here. So top, deviation, rejection. Rejection, 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 rejection. If we take this out, then, we have a huge hurdle right above us. So we need to pay attention to that. But as it stands right now, Cardano feels like XRP feels like it's a little bit in a holding pattern. So for me, I'm going to start DCAing into this relatively soon. Because remember, I sold most of my trading the allocation of my investments in my trading portfolio. I sold August 4th. So I've taken a huge, I have a huge added benefit now of markets being lower than when I sold. So without doing any work at all, I didn't even short. It was just spot sold, let the markets go down. Now I can reallocate back in. So there's no risk there. And my capital is just sitting there ready. Let's look at one more coin. HBAR. How you doing, HBAR? Get too many lines here. So we're right here in this zone. All these lows, rejected right here between another one of those giant centipedes, guys. It always makes my hair tingle. But this is rolling over. We have an M formation, a little bit lower, a little bit. Is it so like exactly the same height here on the candles, but the wick is higher here. So we have a little bit of a lower high, and this is it's looking like it's trying to break below the zone. So lower high on the second top, and this is looking like it's trying to break down. If this does, then this, what you can expect when you see something like this is down, impulse up, and then finding the bottom, right? So this is the most common, I should say, when you see an M formation top. So I'm looking for this to ultimately, without any other just bad news, it's just price action speculation, test somewhere back into the zone, into the 466 sort of zone. If we lose that, then we're coming down here to 4.3. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Again, my message to each and every one of you is love. It's kindness. I don't care what YouTube channel you watch, whether it's Mr. Beast, whether it's this, whether it's Discover Crypto, whether it's Crypto Face, whether it's Frankie Candles, it doesn't matter. Anybody out there, anybody, enter those comments, enter those chats, in a positive light. Don't be a part of the problem of the trolls on the internet. Offer constructive, non-hateful feedback on things. Now, I just want to say again, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm heading over to Discover Crypto now. I got to do the TA there. So come drop some lab coats, show some positivity, show some community. Let's be a positive light in this space. I love each and every one of you. And with that, remember, make sure you head over to the BitLab Academy YouTube page. If you have not checked us out here, it is right here, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Subscribe. Every one of you, so look at your account right now. Look below the window. Does it say subscribed? If not, hit that subscribe button. Join us here and check out bitlabacademy.com if you haven't. Remember, give me 30 for 30% off your first month. I love you all. With that, I bid you adieu. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in to bitlabacademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.